Hello guys, welcome to today's weapon guide. Today we'll be looking at the Lemat Mark II, as promised in my last video. The Lemat Mark II is a very interesting pistol. On one side it has a shotgun for very short range, that can be loaded up with ammo such as Dragon's Breath, Flare, Slugs, to just simply be a lethal little option. Or you can just keep the default buckshot as a self-defense measure if somebody's charging you down, you need to quickly finish somebody off, or stuff like that. It also comes with a small caliber 9-round cylinder, meaning that you have more ammo than other pistols, making it quite useful in prolonged fights. It does lack a bit in the range department since it only fires compact ammo, but I mean overall it's a pretty fun weapon. We'll also be looking at the carbine variants of it and the upper mat, or as it's known now, the haymaker. Anyway, let's roll the clips.
Yep. Don't have the stamina.
Well, neither do I.
Got one. Got one. Push, push, push.
Behind the hill.
Please just be careful.
Yep.
I'm gonna pick up the bounty and burn his mate. Watch out, it's a Romero. Burning. Got the other guy.
You got him?
The Lemat Mark II is interesting due to the fact that, as I already said in the intro, it fills multiple roles. It is best used as a supportive pistol due to its low damage, but it can also be used as a primary weapon if you desire to do so. It comes with meh damage, quite a large ammo capacity, which is pretty good on compact pistols, decent fanning spread, and of course the underbarrel shotgun that is able to take either Dragon's Breath, Flare or Slug ammo, or the normal buckshot, meaning you can customize it for any ability you wanted. You have Flare and Dragon's Breath to ignite people or corpses, you have Slug to extend the range but limit your close range capability, and you have buckshot to finish off either already wounded enemies or enemies that are getting close. For primary custom ammos, we have FMJ, which increases wall penetration, and Incendiary, which allows you to ignite people up to 20 meters in a single shot. From then on, you need 2 shots. This ammo type is kind of meh. You can use it, although I would usually recommend running FMJ on the Lemat or base ammo. You just simply have to experiment with it. The Lemat, in my opinion, in its basic configuration, is best used to finish enemies or potentially whip out as a secondary for standoffs, because it does have that large ammo capacity, plus you have that underslung shotgun for more utility, meaning you can quickly burn a body without switching off your weapon, or whip out a slug to instantly one-tap charging melee attackers, bow players or similar within close range. Although I should say that the spread is relatively bad on the buckshot, and the slug also doesn't have the greatest range, so I'd say probably around 9 meters to 10 meters is your max range with the slug, and I wouldn't bother using it beyond that. Also try to hit the upper torso, because the damage multipliers otherwise may screw you over. Let's move on to the Lemat Carbine. The Lemat Carbine is interesting. It comes with increased velocity, higher damage, the same ammo capacity, and obviously the same shotgun, but it does come with a longer barrel, being around the same effectiveness as the rival in terms of drop-off and spread. This shotgun is a lot more useful. The Lemat Carbine is unique since it doesn't need any perks to function, it doesn't need Iron Eye or anything similar, and that makes it pretty affordable if you are running, for example, a free hunter because you're low on money and want to still use a custom weapon. It can use the same custom ammo types as the base Lemat, although I would usually encourage either normal or FMJ yet again, and pretty much deciding on buckshot or slugs. I wouldn't really bother with the other ammo types due to the fact that the Lemat Carbine is a primary slot. This means that your weapon will be your primary engagement, and so you should make the best of its PvP ability, for example running the shotgun for close range, or if you're running a close range pistol you can run slugs to try and get a longer range one tap. The emphasis lies on longer, not really long range. The problem that I have with the Lemat and the Lemat Carbine is its very weird recoil. It pulls up very much and it's ready to fire before the gun is centered again. This causes me to hate it quite a lot because this gun is so problematic with that shaky recoil. allowing you to shoot before the sight is properly aligned, meaning you'll overshoot your enemy, waste a bullet, and have to go through the recocking animation of the gun. It's also the main reason why I don't like it, and I have been struggling with its velocity recently. Anyway, let's move on to the next variant. The Lemat Carbine Marksman is a pretty pointless gun. If you remember my 1865 guide, the issue with the Lemat Carbine Marksman is quite simply that putting a marksman scope on a gun that doesn't get high velocity, has a mediocre base velocity, and is overall not too great of a gun is kind of bad. And that's kind of where the problems begin. The Lemat Carbine Marksman removes the ability for you to really use slugs on it unless you're praying to Jesus for your hip fire. You can mostly rely on buckshot, but only that from the hip, meaning you need to get closer than usual, and the sniping part isn't exactly good. With your low velocity, especially if you need to use FMJ to even consider body shots, and so it's a gun that I didn't enjoy using. Collecting clips was by far the hardest besides the normal pistol. Although the thing with the normal pistol is that it's much easier to use and user-friendly, and I just simply hadn't had the motivation to play hunt much recently, so I gained a few very one-sided clips. Now we move on to the upper mat. The upper mat is now introduced as a separate family of weapons, but it actually is pretty much just an uppercut applied to the Lemat, nothing else. It does the same 123 damage, but the thing is, what may scare some people off compared to the uppercut is its 2-slot size, and I will give you the explanation for that. The reason being that Crytek obviously recognized that they can't make it a 1-slot weapon, since it's much clunkier and also offers more utility, therefore just blowing the uppercut out of the water. The upper mat is quite good because it still retains its 9-round capacity, which is more than the uppercut, and it still retains the same custom ammos, except for in the long ammo slot you can not use incendiary, but instead get poison. You also still get FMJ, and the shotgun ammo stayed the same, but let's move on to it. I would not use any custom ammo besides FMJ in the long ammo slot, and that is for the reason that long ammo penetrates most things. I wouldn't want to use it for a status ammo on a gun that quite frankly has no ability to switch. While weapons such as the Sparks or Sparks pistol can use status ammo and switch back to normal ammo of FMJ if they need to, this gun cannot. So I wouldn't use such an expensive gun and such a utility heavy gun to use poison ammo. I'd use FMJ if you really need the extra penetration, or I usually just run base ammo so I can resupply much easier and more ammo per supply point. I use this weapon as a range extension to, for example, a shotgun, bow, crossbow, whatever, anything that lacks range, and or I use it in combination with a compact or medium ammo rifle as a strong backup with multifunction capability. The upper mat personally is just my favorite gun. It's absolutely fun. I enjoy it a lot, even compared to the uppercut, due to the fact that it has more ammo, which is my main gripe with said pistol. The issue with the upper mat is, yet again, just like the carbine, the lack of zero on the sight. Like when you fire the gun and you fire it too quickly, the sights won't properly align, which is bad. And that's the problem. My advice with it is shoot, wait for the sight to go back to zero, and then shoot again. You may be able to shoot earlier, but 90% of the time the sight will be so off-centered that you'll miss. And when you're running long ammo and don't exactly get 8 rounds back from an ammo crate, you should probably consider what shots you take and which ones you don't. The upper mat personally was my most successful endeavor, with me having the most clips for it, and I personally recommend you try it out even if you don't like the Lemat, because the upper mat is just a whole lot of fun and is pretty cool to use, especially with that secondary shotgun, fixing the issue the uppercut has, which is close range. I personally use these weapons when I have the money for them, and I wouldn't say that they're necessarily needed. You can also run a drilling shorty instead of the upper mat if you say you like medium ammo with dum-dum more, / you want more flexibility in the shotgun department, or you could just run the Lemat pistol if you say you don't want to take quartermaster or you don't want to pay $270 for the haymaker. Anyway, in summary, the upper mat and Lemat family are a flexible set of pistols that come with a plethora of custom ammos and are usually quite easily enjoyed. They are expensive, especially looking at the upper mat family, and they do come in a pistol and carbine size, filling the 1 in 3 slot requirement. There is also a sadly not so good variant, that being the Lemat Carbine Marksman, which just like the 1865 Aperture, completely fails the purpose of its intended gun. That being that it lacks the range to be a marksman weapon, and you losing the ability to aim your shotgun when there's even a slight distance between you and the enemy. This leads to a fact where the weapon is inconsistent in both roles and not really fun to use, making it more of a hassle to use rather than the joy that the Lamat normally is. I recommend you try out the base Lamat, Lamat Carbine and Upper Mat and see which one you like for yourself. And otherwise, I just say thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the guide, even if it was a lot more watered down this time. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Happy hunting.
I missed, and
Yeah, I missed too, bro. He's pushing you, be careful.
got one.
Nice.
And I need support here in that push.